All right. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Rines Report. I would love to have started the show 2 weeks ago, but organization commitments, some bad weather, kept us off the stream here on RadioFreeRadford.com. But if you like the Rines Report on Facebook, you saw me give a short show live from home. I went a dastardly 5-7-1 with my picks. Hopefully that'll change this week. We have a returning special co-host with us this semester, Mr. Nicholas Penninger.
Nicky P.
If you're a fan of the show, you've heard him, over a year ago now, maybe?
Yeah, shit, over a year ago, because I had my own one, was it last semester? No, the semester before last.
Yeah.
I had my own show, and then I was on with you before that.
That's right, the No Limits podcast.
The No Limits podcast. I saw Terrence had...
Yeah, he's back on with us, too.
I saw that.
Yeah, that's right. If you remember Nick, Terrence, we used to have Donovan Vadalana. He was on as well, myself in the studio. So if you're an avid listener, you'll remember this guy. So let's start off with what happened last night. I mean, the Browns finally won in 635 days. Their first win. You know what's even? You want a fun fact?
It's too many days.
It's way too many days. You know what's a fun fact? Is they haven't won on a Sunday in over 1,000. Because the last time they won was against the Chargers on a Saturday.
What was yesterday? Thursday?
Yeah. The last time they won on a Sunday, I don't even know. But it's been over 1,000 days. The last win prior to this one was on a Saturday versus the then San Diego Chargers.
Those poor guys.
RG3 was the starter.
Robert Griffin won a game.
Right?
There's no way he finished that game, right? There's no way. He had to have gone
I'm
out.
pretty sure he finished the game. It was one of the few times he actually started and finished the games. At least in recent memory, but recent memory was over a year ago.
There is no recent memory for the Browns. We just forget as often as we can. No, that team doesn't look bad.
Their defense looks nice.
Their defense looks great, and honestly, just because we were talking about it before, I don't see why because everybody's hyped on Baker Mayfield. That's the one thing we're obviously going to talk about is Baker Mayfield, Tyrod Taylor, and we have to make sure
Tyrod.
I've been working on that really bad.
Dude, because I find myself messing up. And
I keep saying Tyrod. I'm like,
it's been years we've been calling this guy.
And now
Tyrod.
I know his name, so it's just rude if I keep calling him Tyrod.
Yeah, because what did he say? Like Lou Holtz or whatever said his name wrong on national television,
and then everybody thought that was it.
Yeah,
and then if you watch Hard Knocks, they showed them asking each one of the people how you pronounce his name. And he was like, and also because they call him Ty.
Tyrod. Yeah.
What they call him? They call him Ty, right?
Yeah.
And he's like, so that's also confusing because his name's not Tyrod.
Mm-hmm.
Are you on the Baker Mayfield hype train?
Dude, I'm pretty excited. He looked good last night.
He looked good, but
yeah. I mean, it's the Jets.
It's the Jets.
That's the Jets' defense isn't actually that bad. Their offense.
Their defense is not good.
Very hitter. It's not good, but it's not bad. You know what I mean?
But it's not good. That's the whole thing. Because honestly, this is the one scenario.
I would say they have a little below average defense.
This is the one scenario where I don't mind him being hyped because of who the team is, and the fact that he's the quarterback, and the whole situation.
We're putting up the banner, we're replacing
the whole situation with Tyrod not winning when they could have won twice.
Yeah, I put the first game against the Steelers definitely on Zane Gonzalez. The second one they should have won too.
Yeah, you could have put both and been right both games on Tyrod or on someone else.
Yeah,
but
mostly the kicking game.
That's what I'm saying. But if you're not playing perfectly, I don't really believe in blaming
one guy.
Your kicker. Like if the Patriots had lost those 3 Super Bowls, they each won by a field goal, we wouldn't be blaming the kicker.
No.
We'd be blaming Tom Brady. Because that's the whole thing.
Well, that's what everybody does anyway.
Right, but
they win or lose a game.
But
it's on Tom.
Yeah. Right, but the kicker made it, so we're not talking about that. But if you're winning by 3 points every game, you have a lot of other things you need to address.
Yeah,
nobody talks about that.
Baker came in. They were down 14-0 at the end of the first half. Came in, brought him to a field goal. You know, it's something nice. Got 3 points for him. Came out the second drive and put up another 3 points. There was only one drive on that night, I believe, besides maybe the last 2 that they didn't score.
They play Oakland next.
They do, which we will segue in at some point.
They're gonna win.
Soon.
They're gonna win.
They should. I mean, the Raiders have no pass rush.
No.
I wonder why John Gruden doesn't understand why they don't have a pass rush.
What is he doing?
Dude, I think there's a lot of theories that he's literally intentionally sabotaging the Oakland Raiders.
Well, they were like, because I think it was Skip and Shannon were talking about, he's like, I think it's just because he's so busy. He remembers so much being a radio guy or an analyst.
Yeah,
where your job
for
is
a long
to talk.
time. Yeah.
And as a coach, your job is to not talk. Your job is to say one thing, but mean another. John Gruden has forgotten that because he's literally every day talking about how difficult it is to get a pass rush.
He's like, it's fine. It's hard to find a great pass rush. It's hard to find a good one.
It's
hard to find a pass rush.
Even in those draft picks that we traded him away for, we might get one, but we're probably not. So then why would you trade him?
They're putting so much on Arden Key, the kid they get picked up out of like LSU, I think. He's the guy who's supposed to be now replacing Khalil Mack, which Khalil Mack's probably one of, if not the best pass rusher.
Right now, he is the best pass rusher.
Yeah.
Right now, so far this season, there's no debating it.
Yeah. I mean, statistically, the guy has...
He's terrifying.
Better statistics than the entire Raiders defense. He's so nasty.
He's so good.
Oh, man.
I was going to say, this is an important time to mention to anybody who has listened for a while. I'm no longer a Raiders fan.
Yeah, that was what we were going to segue into.
Yeah. After 15 years, I called it quits.
Yep. I mean, you paid your dues, abysmally let down for 15 years, man. I mean,
stayed through it all.
I mean, because there are people that are like, oh, dude, I'm a Browns fan. We went through an 0-16, 1-15 season. I'm like, that's fine. But, dude, at some point,
we've gotten close.
At some point,
we've gotten close to 0-16.
Yeah.
We've gotten 3 wins.
At some point, I don't blame you for changing. I mean, being screwed over for that long.
And the Browns haven't really made moronic decisions. They've made some.
It's just bad coaching.
It's bad luck. It's bad coaching, and it's bad luck drafting a quarterback, which we can't... I mean, it's unfortunate they had that many bad picks, but everybody messes up picking quarterbacks. It's a fact. There's no team that hasn't
picked a bad
botched a quarterback. Everybody has.
Yeah.
So it's like... Oh, except for the Patriots.
Jimmy Garoppolo, Tom Brady.
No, even before Tom Brady, they didn't
draft.
They've had good quarterbacks for a while. So they
just bad coaching.
Exactly. So it's like... After a while, after that move, which, like I said, nobody could justify.
Because, look, you think about this. They got 2 first-round picks, and they sent Mack in a second-rounder to the Bears, which...
Why did we give a pickup? That's what I want to know.
I think the Bears wanted to...
They. I'm not a Raiders fan.
There's going to be a lot of that this semester.
I'm not a Raiders fan. I'm a Jaguars fan. Which, again,
they got 2 first-round picks for him. I think the biggest thing behind this is that the Raiders screwed up initially because they could have paid Mack last year $19 million a season, which would have been a lot at the time, but now Aaron Donald's signing $25 million a year.
And I told you
Mack was like, oh, if he's getting 25, why am I not going to get $25 million?
I told you he was gonna want more than Aaron Donald got.
Yeah.
And they were both holding out to wait for the other.
Yeah.
Aaron Donald was just smart enough to go first.
Mm-hmm.
You never... Why would you allow... and let
your best player.
Arguably, the different positions. Arguably, Aaron Donald's better than Khalil Mack.
I think Khalil Mack's best pass rusher, but I think Aaron Donald's most disruptive player.
You could argue Aaron Donald over Khalil Mack. 2 different positions, but you could argue...
Personally, I like Aaron Donald better.
Right, so you could argue that. So if you're going to argue where you know this person is going to get max money, there's no way the Rams are going to give up Aaron Donald.
Yeah.
Why would you allow them to increase the market price of a defensive lineman?
Why not go sign your guy for less?
For the current market price. Because you know Aaron Donald, the reason he's holding out is because he wants the new market price.
Yeah.
Which
he got. The dude's getting, what, $25 million a season too? Maybe 24?
Yeah. Because the Raiders thought Khalil Mack was going to come back and say, okay, I'll keep playing. Which is dumb.
No.
Because when you're the only pass rusher on a defense that is a terrible defense,
yeah,
it's important to remember the Raiders' defense was bad with Khalil Mack.
Yeah. And now they don't... Did they lose Carl Joseph for the season?
I don't know. I don't follow him anymore.
Something like that.
But important to mention this in case anyone's wondering. I like the Jaguars because people are going to wonder because the Jaguars...
Why did you make the transition?
Why did I make the transition to the Jaguars that right now many consider to be
top hot team? Like it's like a bandwagon pull.
Right. Yeah. Exactly. And I talked to you about
Seahawks fans are no longer existent apparently.
Oh, God. Well,
they went with the offensive lineman.
Right. So and I talked about this before. I lived in Jacksonville for a short time. Have been to Jacksonville games. Had Jacksonville shirts, and that was the other team that I would be. And I had this discussion on social media, saying I was thinking about becoming a Jaguars fan years ago. So if anyone wants to follow me on Facebook, you'll see it on there and search it. But yeah,
like the Rines Report on Facebook.
Like the Rines Report on Facebook.
Radio Free Ratchet.
It's a great page. Media. I occasionally comment on things. But that's it. What's the next topic? Eminem and MGK. Just kidding. That's not.
I mean, I think you paid your dues at this point. I mean, what is? I don't understand what John Gruden's angle is here. Reggie McKenzie, the same token. Like, I don't understand what they're trying to do. I think
Reggie McKenzie allowed. I doubt Reggie McKenzie said, Trey Khalil-Mack. He drafted.
No, this was mostly a John Gruden inspired.
It was 100% a John Gruden move.
But McKenzie's the one who has to like sign off on it.
I doubt it.
I think
they'll fire Reggie McKenzie. Reggie McKenzie, they probably said to him, "You were doing bad. You started doing great. You picked some good players recently, but now we stink again."
And you no longer have the best player.
And we
on your team for a long time, by the way.
And we just signed John Gruden, who we're gonna pay. They're paying
$10 million.
They're paying enough where he's making rules. And the Raiders said to him, "Listen, he's gonna make the rules here. If you lose this job, the chance you get another job are slim because we're not doing well.
Yeah.
So you can either stay and do what we're telling you to do, and just listen to him. And you guys have 10 years to work it out. If either of them live that long, Reggie McKenzie will be dead in 10 years. Just kidding. I love Reggie McKenzie.
Jesus, man.
But yeah, so I think John Gruden just thought, and they said before, I can't remember who
they weren't even communicating. That was the thing. Also, is like, how are you not going to communicate with your best players?
Well, who was it who said that? There was a quarterback who played for John Gruden who said that he doesn't like to get married to players. He likes to date them.
I think that's. It's a philosophy for like GMs in general, because you think about, all right, well, I don't want to get overcommitted in case I got to cut this guy. I mean,
in case you
stink. Have you ever seen what was that movie with Brad Pitt, the one about the Oakland A's, Moneyball, yeah, where he's the GM of the team, and where Jonah Hill's like interning or whatever. He's like, why doesn't he like to get social with the players? They're like, well, because it makes it easier to cut them.
Wasn't that the story about the guy who brought in analytics?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a good movie.
It's a very good movie. If you haven't seen it, check it out.
I was gonna say, yeah, what they were saying was that, just like you said, it's a GM mindset, because you don't control on the field what happens. As a coach, essentially
there are very few coaches who are also GMs. Like, I'm pretty sure Bill has a good GM involvement with the Patriots.
Yeah, but it has been shown that mainly in basketball is a lot easier to differentiate. Players don't usually make good coaches, but they do usually make good GMs. That's
like Chauncey,
like Larry Bird.
Yeah, Larry Bird.
Yeah, but they very rarely make.
Or Danny Ainge used to play.
Right,
he's a great GM.
Yeah, exactly. But great players are very rarely great coaches. I mean, look at the great coaches. They were very rarely great players. Phil Jackson was okay.
Yeah,
he was an okay player.
Doc Rivers was.
Steve Kerr was okay. He wasn't a legend.
Yeah.
Well, Tyronn Lue.
There's an argument to be had that Steve Kerr was just one of the luckiest guys in basketball. Because you think about it, he was with Michael Jordan during some of their great years.
But he's a great
with the
dude.
Spurs when they were winning into their championships.
Yeah.
And now he's with the Warriors, who probably the most dominant roster in NBA history.
Yeah, I would say that I wouldn't give it so much luck. Like, we're not talking about like Robert.
I'm not saying that he has nothing to contribute. Robert
Horry was lucky.
Yeah.
He got lucky.
Yeah.
Steve Kerr, the two jobs that require a good personality are point guard and coach. As a point guard with Michael Jordan on there, he needed to be able to compromise.
Yeah.
Needed to be able to let Michael do his thing. Be a guy like...
And contribute by putting at some point.
Shoot threes.
Yeah.
And pass the ball. And he did great at that. And just like as a coach of the Warriors, he's not going around there telling those 5 savages how to play the game.
Dude, they're so nasty.
He's not out there telling those 5 freak of natures how to play the game.
Lest we forget that they just signed DeMarcus Cousins this offseason.
Oh, God.
For nothing.
Is he going to come off the bench?
Huh?
Is he going to come off the bench?
No.
There's no way they run all 5 of them. It's impossible. They won't run all 5.
I think they could. I'm not saying they're going to run them all starting lineup. They'll very well start them all, but I don't think periodically throughout the game they're not going to start them all 5 at the same time.
I don't see them ever starting all 5 at the same time.
It's just
because you ruin 2 players at that point. You can't use 5 players. Nobody can.
Not all at once.
No team ever had 5 great players. No team ever had 5. It won't work. Think about it. The Warriors are the first team that can actually win with that many great players.
If you're a veteran listener to the show, you also remember that we like to go off on tangents. So it just happens.
It's important to talk about, though.
Yeah.
These are all real things.
I mean, when basketball season starts getting hyped back up, too, it's going to be an interesting year.
But barely, though. That's the sad thing.
Well, we all know the Warriors are more than likely going to win the championship this year. The West is more competitive with LeBron. The Thunder.
Are they, though?
They're going to be more competitive. I think that he makes the Lakers a better team by himself. But this is the first time playing in the West. The Rockets got better. The Warriors, of course, got better because they never regress.
Basketball's a tough one.
The Celtics are the front runners in the East now, but they're so young and talented.
Definitely. Or the
Raptors.
What's that one team that shouldn't be in the East but is?
Who? The Timberwolves? No, wait, they're West. Milwaukee.
Isn't there one team that should not be in the East? If you look at where they are, they're not East, but they play in the East.
Like the
Not
Bucks?
the Jazz. The Jazz were in the West, right?
Are they? I don't remember, man.
All right, I'll look that up. Let's forget about basketball for now.
Yeah, let's just try to stick on football. We're getting back in the flow, everyone. We're getting back in the flow.
We have too many things to talk about for 2 weeks off.
More than 2 weeks. It's the whole off season, and then piled up on top of that was another 2 weeks.
2 astoundingly interesting weeks with ties and injuries.
The second week of ties for the NFL. The Packers and the
first time since
How
the 70s.
are you gonna, dude? I could have made that field goal from 23 yards.
I think you said it to me earlier, and I think I denied that.
What? That I could make that field goal?
I would say maybe like 4 times out of 10 you make that. You're
4 out of 10.
Have you ever kicked a field goal?
Yeah.
It's hard. It's stressful.
It's hard, but
No,
but if you have 3 tries,
but imagine your job being on that.
Oof.
Every time I've ever kicked a field goal, I was crapping my pants. Because you know that one where you think, because every time you kick a field goal, it's like when you're losing in a game and you go like, all right, now I'm going to start trying. And then you kick it and you just boot it in a straight line across the dirt. And you're like, yeah.
The other team just picks the ball up, runs it to the other.
Field goals are scary, man.
I mean, but you got to think you're an NFL level kicker. At that point, you're within 30 yards of the goalpost. You're not Blair Walsh, although I think Blair Walsh would have made that. Although Blair Walsh also hooked one from 13. I don't know. It's scary to think about.
It's a terrifying job.
There are only a few guys in the league who are that ice cold. That's Adam Vinatieri. I mean, Gostkowski's all right. Robbie Gould's pretty good. Greg Zuerlein's pretty good.
I was going to tell you before I forget. In the new Madden, what happens is if you kick a field goal, remember how we were talking about how annoying that...
Oh, they know for like all Madden now, don't they?
If you get iced now, if they ice the kicker...
They take away the whole ball.
They take away your aim.
Oh, no.
It goes halfway, so you can only see halfway to the goalpost.
Oh,
and then when you go and pick your power, on the way down, the accuracy meter disappears.
Yes, that was an 18.
Was it?
As well.
Oh.
Like, if it was a clutch kick, it'd go up to, like, power, but it would take away your accuracy.
I did that, and I was like...
I've actually missed field goals.
Oh, I only did it once. I only did it once, and I made it. It was stressful.
I've made them a lot more frequently since I missed my first one, but I have missed them on the occasion. Anyway, this is not the Madden podcast.
The East, I would say, I was probably thinking of Milwaukee. You're right.
It's a mess. It's a messy structure we have here. We just like talking too much about random stuff.
All right, let's get back on topic. What's your topics?
Let's see. We've already skimmed through the Browns win because the Browns...
Oh, you didn't answer. Are you on the Baker Mayfield hype train?
Oh, yeah, that's where we started. Of course, we went on a tangent for 15 minutes. Am I on the hype train? I think Baker Mayfield starts next week. And I think... He looked to me better than Tyrod did. He really did.
Yes.
Because Tyrod's issue, I think that at the end of that Steelers game, I don't think Baker makes that poor of a throw. Like, he underthrew Josh Gordon by like a mile almost, and they ended up picking it off.
Yeah.
They could have gone down the field and won the game there. Mm-hmm. But Tyrod underthrew him. We also saw him underthrow last night, an open Callaway touchdown. Mm-hmm. Floated it way too much.
Yep.
I think Baker puts a little bit... I think Baker's got a great spin. Like, he could spin it. It's you know what I'm talking about, like that one of those phrases where it's like the kid can put it on a dime, like really tight spiral.
He makes a catch
easy.
Elementary. Where as long as you know what you're doing, it'll go right in. Yeah.
But I really like Baker. He looked solid last night. I mean, even though the Browns' offensive line is horrible, he actually had some. He looked like he had some really solid composure. I think this is a good game to start him in because you remember guys like who was the guy that was taken ahead of Brady in like the 2000 draft or something. There was some guy, nobody really important historically now, but he like his first week starting with the Browns was the year that the Ravens were like the most dominant defense in history. Yeah. And he was like, I played that one game, maybe the game after that, but that first start ruined my career. Because you get in that mindset of like, dude, people are hitting me every play.
Right, and that's why
Spurgeon Wynn, I think is his name.
What's his name talked about it on his show. I hate him. The white dude from
Cowherd?
First Take.
First Take? Max Kellerman?
Yeah, no. Okay, maybe it's not the other dude. The other guy who no one likes. He's always confrontational.
Cowherd?
He always wants to fight. No. Will Kane. Will Kane had a guy on. He's like, name me one reason why why Baker Mayfield doesn't give a better chance to win than Tyrod Taylor. And somebody said one thing. They said, well, their offensive line is shaky. And they had, their left guard who just went out? For the Browns, their offensive line is questionable, and the one thing you don't want to do, he might be able to win, or he might get lit up.
Yeah, That's the scary part.
Exactly, and it's worse.
Well, it doesn't matter who's back there; they're probably going to get lit up.
But you'd rather Tyrod Taylor get lit up in the beginning when your offensive line is
still trying to figure themselves out.
Exactly, because even if your offensive line isn't full of legends like the Cowboys, they still have to.
Even the Cowboys' offensive line has looked bad.
Right, and that's what I'm saying. No matter who's on your offensive line, you need chemistry. Mm-hmm. So let them figure out their chemistry the best possible,
and let Tyrod get smashed.
Exactly, but you don't put in Baker Mayfield.
Well, unless you have to. Which they had to.
Which I thought why the Jets was a good game for them, and then also the Raiders game is a good game for Baker.
Because there's not a lot of pass rush.
So Baker can gain his confidence.
He's going to see a lot of zone coverage.
Yep.
They're going to even if they play man-to-man, there's not going to be a lot of blitz.
He will pick the Raiders apart.
I think that
who's the Raiders' number one cornerback?
Number one corner?
Yeah.
Garyon Conley.
Okay, Garyon Conley is going to guard Jarvis Landry.
Or
we having that conversation?
Callaway looked like a beast.
Are we having that conversation?
No, I'm not saying he can cover him.
Right, exactly. In all, if he will separate off Garyon Conley so hard.
Oh, Jarvis looked nasty.
They won't go man to man, and if they go to zone against Jarvis, they're in even more danger
because Baker's gonna recognize.
Baker's gonna light him up. Baker's gonna throw darts. He's not Patrick Mahomes, mind you, which we can talk about.
Mahomes is a
we can
monster.
talk. I'm just mentioning it.
We'll get there.
We can talk about
it. There.
Who picked up this quarterback you were talking about in the draft?
Who?
You said the 2000 draft.
Oh, like Spurgeon Wynn was the Browns. I think his name was Spurgeon Wynn. I could be wrong.
That's a good draft.
For players, it was Charles Woodson, wasn't it?
Sean
James
Alexander, LeVar Arrington, Brian Urlacher.
Yeah, Tom, 6th round. The quarterbacks in that draft outside of Tom are bad.
There's some good people in that. Yeah, I mean the rest of them. Shane Leckler was our 5th round pick.
Yeah,
that's
our. Do you mean the Raiders?
There. Mark Bolger. Mark Bolger was a 6th round pick.
He was good. He was good for a little while.
Neil Rackers.
What's it? Bolger was like a MVP caliber quarterback for
Mark
a little
Bolger
while
was good.
there. Yeah.
Mark Bolger was
Torrey
a good quarterback.
Holt, Isaac Bruce.
Mark Bolger was a good quarterback. I mean, yeah, he did have a
stacked receiving core.
That team was stacked. We don't need to talk about that Rams team. Oh man, that's a good team. Yeah, I don't know. I can't see who they picked. So Baker, you sound like you're not on the hype train, but you see more good things coming from
him. I'm always hesitant with these young quarterbacks. I'm along the mindset of let's try to sit them as long as possible. That way they can fully learn the game, get immersed in it,
right?
Become a professional.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It feels like Josh Allen was rushed a little bit. I'm not saying he's playing bad. He's actually playing better than I thought he was going to.
Mm-hmm.
Darnold looks okay. He looks like a rookie quarterback.
Poor Jets.
Darnold looks like a rookie quarterback. He just looks fresh. He's still getting looks that he isn't familiar with. He's still trying to play hero ball like he was in college.
He's still making talented throws.
He is.
That
made him probably the best, like the most anticipatingly best quarterback.
If they don't start drafting offensive linemen,
oh my goodness, yeah,
then they're
because their best offensive lineman is either Brandon Shell, I think his name Brian Shell, or James Carpenter.
Yeah, they need offensive linemen bad, and they need receivers.
Robbie Anderson's okay.
Who's the running back?
Isaiah Crowell.
That's not bad.
No, he was good. Did you see?
You
didn't see it last night, did you?
Not the whole thing.
So Isaiah Crowell scores 2 touchdowns in the first half of that game, and then for the second celebration, he gets into the end zone and wipes his derriere with the ball and throws it in the stands because the Browns cut him.
Was that a good?
It was funny.
No, was the celebration? They don't mind.
Oh, they penalized him.
Oh, good.
They gave him like a 15-yard
Spurgeon win.
Spurgeon win. Yeah.
Why is his name read out? They have colors. Supplemental compensatory selection.
Oh yeah, he was
compensatory. Sorry.
Yeah, he was a
I saw Hall of Famer Pro Bowler, and then I saw red. I was like, what does that mean? He sucked. Yeah, supplemental compensatory selection.
Yeah,
that's what it means. So who are these starting quarterbacks or for the rookie quarterbacks this year?
This year we have Josh Rosen is the only guy who hasn't played.
He's on
Arizona. He's behind Sam Bradford.
Oh, that's right.
Sam Bradford, the man with no knees.
Poor Sam Bradford.
You know what I realized the other day?
He's really talented.
Speaking of which, let's only touch on this for a few minutes, but I realized is that Sam Bradford is easily becoming the next Josh McCown. Because Josh McCown is like that rebuild quarterback that's okay, might win you a game or two, but nothing like fancy to look at.
Yeah.
So think about this. Before the Rams went to LA and they had like Case Keenum and stuff trying to start for them, they had Sam Bradford.
Yeah.
And then they had Jared Goff.
He
goes to Philadelphia. They
did well.
He did well, and then got hurt, and then they drafted Carson Wentz.
Then went to Minnesota.
And then
did well.
Case Keenum again, and then they ended up with Cousins now, and now he's in Arizona, and the guy right behind him is supposed to be their franchise quarterback of the future, Josh Rosen.
Yeah.
He's that guy that's like you're 1 or 2 quarterbacks away from your franchise.
He's
guy.
the richest journeyman ever.
They gave him like a 2-year, $20 million
ton of bread,
like a ton of money,
just a ton of money. I wouldn't call him but like in all those TV shows on TV where they talk about it, everyone likes to say he steals money. I wouldn't classify him.
I don't think he's a bad quarterback. I think he's just too injury prone.
And I think he cares, and I think he produces when he's not injured. So he's not.
Yeah, when he's pretty accurate as far as quarterbacks
he can throw the ball.
He's just the thing with Sam Bradford.
He needs to play flag football.
Is that not just that? It's that he's just so vanilla. Like, you're not going to see a lot of these spectacular down-the-field throws. He's very much relying on the slant routes, the digs, your drag routes. You're not going to see him bombing it 70 yards down the field to
He has an
whoever.
arm, though, but he's smart.
Yeah.
He's not a risk taker, which all quarterbacks...
He's kind of like Alex Smith, but light. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, as vanilla as you can get, in my opinion. Like, he's the guy that you can use to train your guys behind him and not feel so bad when he leaves.
Yeah.
Literally, that's his role. Like, Alex Smith is at least good. He at least played kind of like an MVP quarterback last year.
Alex Smith's not bad.
Yeah, he's good.
He's questionable. Alex Smith, you ever notice, he's the one guy that nobody knows what they feel about him.
Yeah.
1 minute he's good, 1 minute you're like, I don't trust this Alex Smith guy. Then you're like, Alex Smith. Then you're like, I don't know how I feel about this dude.
He's flippy-floppy.
He's like Kirk Cousins.
Kirk Cousins is better.
Kirk Cousins is the better Alex Smith.
That's definitely been the argument.
That's a fair comparison. That he's just a more talented Alex Smith.
Yeah. My cousins on my feelings on Kirk Cousins, excuse me.
I was going to say your cousins?
My cousins on Kirk Cousins. I like Kirk Cousins. I think he takes more risk, though. That's his thing, is he takes more risk.
Yes.
I feel like he's a good field general. Mm-hmm. Like, he knows how to move the offense. That's just my feeling. He feels more aggressive to me when he plays.
Yeah, I don't...
And you saw that against the Green Bay Packers.
I don't have enough evidence yet to give any real opinion on Kirk Cousins.
Except that he's either... If he flops at some point, that man's still getting $84 million.
Good for him.
I was like, this is either going to be the biggest payoff in Vikings history or the worst deal of all time.
Oh, he won't win them a Super Bowl.
Yeah, they have a Super Bowl caliber roster.
Yeah, but he's not going to win one. You know when you just had that feeling?
Like, they're guys that you're hoping, but it's really not.
But you're like, no. Like the Steelers pretty much every year.
Like, they're a good team, and on paper they should have won 2 more championships.
Or the Chiefs,
which we'll get to.
Can we talk about the Chiefs too? Let's section out. Let's section out a spot for how filthy the Chiefs are. Just like 2 minutes.
Their offense is nasty. Their defense is okay.
You know that's one of the best parts of not being a Raiders fan anymore.
I
no longer have to hate the Chiefs. I love Eric Berry,
dude.
If I could high five.
Yeah, they've been taking it easy with him too. It's Eric Berry.
It's Eric Berry. He's good.
Awesome.
He's so good. He beat cancer.
Yeah.
He's so good.
He went through cancer chemo treatment, came back a pound heavier than when he left the team.
I love no longer having to hate the Chiefs.
I never hated them. I've just never thought of them as great as everybody else thinks they are.
Well, I've always loved it
because they always seem to pose a little bit. It's like for the first 6 weeks of the season, when everybody's still figuring themselves out, the Chiefs are dominant. Yeah. But as soon as like middle October, November rolls around, they drop off the face of the earth, which is what I'm scared is going to happen. Mahomes looks great, and I really like him. And the kid's got a cannon. The kid's got a cannon. But I'm afraid that Andy Reid's going to do what Andy Reid does almost every year, which is be really good for the first 6 weeks, look like a Super Bowl caliber team, and then drop off the face of the earth and no one cares.
Yeah, but there's so much talent on that offense.
There's always been a lot of talent on that team.
No, not this amount.
On that offense? I mean, they got Sammy Watkins was the biggest change.
They got Sammy Watkins. They got Tyreek Hill, who looks like a track star.
He is.
Let's not even talk about it. I mean, he looks like a track star.
We get it. The guy's amazing.
He's so good. Travis Kelce is
the second best tight end in football.
No, he's the first best tight end in football, only because Gronk's always hurt. Gronk's hurt again. If Gronk played...
He's fine today.
Yeah, his ankle's not a big deal. But I consider Travis Kelce the best tight end in football because he's more reliable. I would pick Travis Kelce over Gronk. If I had one game where I had a reassurance that one of them wouldn't get hurt, talent-wise, I'd pick Gronk.
But
I'd pick Travis Kelce over him on
the team. Reason why... we keep going on tangents. It's just layers. But I will say we'll debate this more as the season goes on. But I feel like the reason why Gronk is better and arguably one of the best tight ends of all time is that Travis Kelce's not a great lineman.
No.
He's not. He's a very much Jimmy Graham former receiver guy.
He's working on blocking, but he's still not.
He's not a blocker.
No.
Like Gronk will get down there and hit you like an offensive lineman.
That's a big dude.
He is 6'7", like 260
he's
pounds.
Wide. He's
super strong.
Which you need to be in order to block.
I think Travis Kelce's a better receiver, but Gronk can do everything.
Yeah. No, I think they're comparable.
Yeah.
But I'd prefer Kelce because he
hasn't had a big injury yet.
Right. And Gronk is always tweaking something.
The kid's a monster still.
He is a beast.
He's a truck.
He is a beast.
He is a
no
truck.
one ever. I was gonna say no one ever talks about it.
Let's touch on this really quickly though.
Do it.
Vontae Davis. I really just want to touch on it. I know you don't want to give a lot of time to it. But
I don't think you do either. I don't think it's worth even mentioning.
It's not enough to go a whole 10 minutes on it, but it's enough to just talk about it, and because it's so funny.
It is funny. It is funny. I think
his excuse for retiring is just a big cop out for I don't want to play on the Bills anymore because I don't want to get CTE for this bad of a team.
Yeah, it's sad. I think that it's to a certain point. Everybody's played on bad teams.
Yeah,
almost everybody. Tom Brady never has. Everybody.
I mean, Tom's had a bad year when they missed the playoffs once or twice.
Everybody has to play for a team that stinks.
Vontae just happens to have played for a lot of those teams.
Right, and you can be a good player on a team that stinks. Happens all the time.
Khalil Mack.
Happens all the time, right. So I don't have any sympathy.
Or Myles Garrett,
I don't have any sympathy for
guys who are good on bad teams.
Yeah, no, look at Nnamdi Asomugha.
Yeah.
Nnamdi Asomugha could have walked out on the Raiders plenty of times, but it's not like he didn't get recognition. Mm-hmm. The defense stunk, but guess what? Everybody, when you talk about Nnamdi, we're like, because a cornerback can do that. If you shut everybody down the entire year, I don't care if your team goes on 1-16. If you're targeted only 15 times and 2 of those you have an interception, and only 2 people got a catch off you, you'll get paid.
Yeah.
He did. So I don't have any sympathy for Vontae. I don't have any sympathy for that position.
Nnamdi's acting now.
Of course he is.
Yeah.
He's a good-looking dude. He's a good actor. He's been in it.
And his wife's Kerry Washington.
Yeah, I love Nnamdi, and he was great too. He fell off quickly as most cornerbacks do.
I think that system in Philly just screwed him over.
Yeah.
I think he was really good man-to-man guy, but people started realizing that hey, if he plays so much off coverage, let's just run a lot of slants.
In his prime, he was one of the most locked down cornerbacks ever.
Mm-hmm.
He was so good. So my opinion on it is I don't give Vontae much. I don't give him any sympathy at all. At that position, even if your team stinks, you gotta play. You can be good, and you can still...
It's like, why did you do it at the half, too? Like, if you retire right after the game, I get it. But, dude, you were... Out of nowhere, it felt like, is what he was trying to say. He's like, it hit me. I was out there, and I just realized I don't want to play anymore.
And even like they said, if that's the case, you go up to your coach, and you say, I don't want to play in this game anymore. Sit me. And then you still high-five your teammates, still say, good job, still say, I'm out of this physically, but emotionally, I still care about the people out here.
It's just disrespectful.
You
saw the Lorenzo Alexander interview after the game, too, where he was like, I have no idea what happened. He just came in, took his stuff off, and left.
Yeah, see, that's just disrespectful.
I remember it popping up on my phone. Bleacher Report hit me up and was like, hey, Vontae Davis retired at halftime. I was like, are you what?
Yeah, and it was like third quarter at this point.
Yeah.
And you're like,
what?
Yeah. I don't like. I feel like if you're a quarterback, and you get sacked 4 times in a row before halftime, and you go into the locker room and you retire at halftime and say, I just got sacked 4 times in a row. I'm not doing this anymore. How can I throw the ball? How can I be a quarterback if you guys can't keep people off me? In that scenario, I'd go, I got sympathy for the guy. How can he do his job?
Eli Manning.
And how can he continue to get wrecked every play? And you expect him to want to keep going out there. Somebody else has to do their job.
Yeah.
Not at corner. At corner, you
are the only person you have to rely on.
You will always get snaps.
It's not like your pass rush is bad. It's like you're not seeing Eric Rowe retire at halftime. Although I wish he would.
Right. Exactly. Or it would be like a defensive tackle walking out.
Because the offensive line is
I just can't get past their O-line. I'm done with this. Right. Key phrase. You can't get past their O-line.
You can't cover that
So
guy.
you need to do something about it or be a man about it, finish the game, and then say...
Or tell somebody else, hey, you can do my job.
Exactly, and that's what he should have done, and he should have warned them.
Dude, I wouldn't even want to pay Vontae.
No, they're gonna. Are you kidding me? They're definitely taking him to court. The players' union's gonna beef over that.
Yeah.
Because they pay them per game.
Mm-hmm.
So there's gonna be.
Yeah, I don't think he should expect getting a paycheck. Of course.
No, he shouldn't expect getting any paycheck.
Yeah.
In most contracts, there is a not a personality. There's a behavior clause. There's a you do certain things that are expected of you, and if you do something, that's how people always get off contracts. Like Aaron Hernandez, the Patriots would have gotten off paying his contract had he not have killed himself. You know that, right?
Really?
You know why Aaron Hernandez did what he did, right?
Because he gave his family the money. Or
because do you not really? Yeah, because
I remember reading a lot about it. It's been a while.
The law is what I do. Let me give you a quick gist of it.
Okay.
In Massachusetts, if you appeal a murder conviction and you are granted an appeal,
you're still technically innocent.
Your conviction now goes away. So your conviction doesn't actually have to be completely erased in the appeal. Just being granted the appeal in Massachusetts means that you're no longer actually convicted. There was a behavior clause in Aaron Hernandez's contract that said he would not get the rest of the money he was owed by the Patriots because he killed somebody and went to prison and got convicted for it. Mm-hmm. So the Patriots, part of the contract is, yeah, we agreed to pay you this, but you're breaking the law, says that we no longer have to pay you this.
Yeah.
So when he got that appeal, he killed himself and wrote the letter in there saying that the money's
going to my family.
Use the money well, because he knew that had he gone to trial again, he would have been convicted again, and his family would have lost all his money. So he took his own life to give his family the money he was supposed to get from his contract.
Smart.
It's super smart. Yeah. And that's by the way.
But it's also a tragic story.
It's super tragic, but the fact that his lawyer said that to him, his lawyer said, hey, I'm gonna let you know something.
Behind closed doors, off the record.
You're already gonna die in here.
Yeah.
And you're already paying lawyer fees. You owe a lot of money. But if you get your family this amount of money, these millions of dollars, there's one way out of that. Which is the best thing. And honestly, I don't feel any negative for it.
I mean, it's crazy.
He was sick in the head.
He was.
That's the sucky part about it.
That's what the. I mean, the dude was diagnosed post-mortem that he had terrible CTE.
The worst.
Ever.
Ever. And mind you, they test a lot of people for CTE.
They do. The first case of CTE was what was it, Mike Webster, former center for the Steelers, something like that. If you watch that concussion movie. But no, it's tragic, man, because you think about it. I think I've said this a number of times too, which was you have guys who've been playing for forever. They're young, probably 12 years old maybe when they first start playing football. Maybe younger at the time, yeah. Pop Warner, you're 8 years old, maybe running around getting your head smacked.
Getting hit.
You go all the way from there all the way to high school playing. I was the only way I'm going to get to college is if I keep playing. I'm taking a hit. I feel a little dizzy. But I'm going to go back in there. Yeah. I got to keep playing because that's my way to get out of here. Goes to Florida. Who knows how many times he got smacked around under Urban Meyer and then got undiagnosed.
Yeah.
It was Urban Meyer, wasn't it?
I think so. Yeah, Florida.
I could be wrong, but
I think it was Urban Meyer when he was there.
You want to quick fact check me?
Yeah.
But playing at Florida, getting smacked around, hit in the head all the time, you know what I mean? Then you finally get to the NFL and say, all right, well, I'm finally making this money, but I don't have that big contract yet. Let's keep playing.
And then it's the same thing where...
it happens... It's probably crazy because it happens for more than just him, of course. It probably happens for a lot of
Richie
these
Incognito
guys.
is the other perfect example of it.
The dude, it seems like he has those traits of, bad CTE.
Because first you question their decision-making. First you go, why would Aaron Hernandez kill somebody for spilling a drink on him while he's already famous and playing professional football? Because he murdered somebody as a member of the Patriots. Mm-hmm. Why would someone do that? Yeah. They wouldn't. A normal person wouldn't do that. He didn't have the ability to differentiate. His brain didn't allow it. Same thing with Richie Incognito. Why
is he throwing weights at random people in the gym?
Right. First, this dude's a millionaire. Sure, even if he gets angry, why is he
retired? Whatever. I don't know.
Then goes to try to cut his father's head off.
At the funeral.
Right, and now you're like, okay, maybe this guy's not a tool. Maybe he really has something going on. Maybe and he does. Yeah. And Richie Incognito definitely has something.
Playing offensive line for that long at that kind of level.
And then you get...
And all the other stuff they pump into you to make sure that, I'm sore, man. My head
exactly.
hurts. And take some of these painkillers.
And they're also most likely doing steroids, which most players do. I don't even want to talk about whether they do or not. Mm-hmm. Most players do steroids or human growth hormone, which have their own effects on your body, along with the damage you're getting from football. It's just unfortunate.
Some tragic stuff.
But point of the story is there are behavior clauses in contracts. So I guarantee you there's something in Vontae Davis's contract that says if he does some outlandish stuff, he's not going to get paid. Granted, I don't know if there is that clause, or if it's specifically.
But it's not atypical to see that in.
They're going to go to court over it. It'll be a players' union.
I'm curious to see how it goes.
Yeah, he ain't gonna get paid for that game. I'll tell you that much.
Well, we got 20 minutes left here. I got 2 more topics I want to cover. If we can, we could throw some more stuff in here.
Yes, I remember this real quick. Florida. Urban Meyer was from 2005, 2010.
Okay, yeah. I want to say that was around the time he was there.
Yeah.
How have they not done a 30 for 30 on that time? Because you got to think, it was like Aaron Hernandez.
They're busy doing it on Junior
Urban
Seau.
Meyer. Oh, I saw that one's coming out.
I want to see that.
It looks interesting.
He's so good.
They had the Pouncey twins there. Cam Newton was on that roster at that time, too. Tim
2000,
Tebow.
2007, he was a freshman at Florida under Urban Meyer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's see. So moving on, we have 20 minutes left in the show. What is going on with the Pittsburgh Steelers? I'm really curious because, look, Le'Veon Bell isn't showing up. We have no idea where that guy is. MIA.
He shouldn't.
No, he's not getting paid what he should.
No.
At least what he thinks he should. Let's see. Antonio Brown missing practice over a spat with a Steelers employee, from what I understand, over social media, like saying, trade me if you don't think I'm going to be good here.
Yeah, there's a debate over, too, whether or not. He said that
he doesn't want to be traded. I think it was more of just like, all right, then fine.
Well, he says Tomlin knew why he missed practice, but
they never really specified.
They punished him, and that's what Shannon Sharp said. He was like, if you're telling your coach you're going to be gone for a personal reason, they're not going to punish you for it. But he was punished for it. It came out. He was punished for it. So I think no, he did not have a reason to miss practice, but I think that he was probably just
a little annoyed.
Yeah.
But you think about this, considering there's always like a story every year, like what was it, Antonio Brown going live in the locker room at one point during like a team meeting or something, or
which was only really terrible because
it showed
Mike Tomlin specifically said,
"Don't do that.
Don't do this."
Yeah,
like part of the speech he recorded was about not being on social media,
and it just seems like there's always something every year where it's like some news story. Le'Veon Bell's not getting paid enough. The linemen are also like jabbing at Le'Veon for not showing up, playing, even though they're all showing up, whatever.
It's crazy though.
But there's so much. What's the word I'm looking for?
Personality.
There's a lot of personality in every locker room, but specifically the Steelers have a lot of big, talented guys. They should have more Super Bowl titles. These last 10 years.
Oh yeah.
They should have at least 1 or 2 more championships, right? But their culture in that locker room. The lack of, it feels like there might just be like a lack of authority, maybe. Like it feels like Tomlin no longer has that team.
Yeah, I think he does.
He doesn't have the same discipline that he probably had when he started.
I think just like we were talking about Kerr being able to facilitate great players. That's a skill set of a coach. I think Tomlin has gone the hands-off route because you're not going to have to tell Big Ben, Le'Veon, and Antonio Brown how to connect on a play.
Yeah.
But you need to be able to facilitate how they interact with each other still. And I don't think Tomlin's doing that. I think Tomlin probably has gone too far hands-off.
I think that he's like, okay, well, it's their issue, not mine, right? Why should I care? Because those are your leaders.
And it makes more sense because he's a defensive guy anyway.
Yeah.
So
he is, but it doesn't matter. If you're the head coach and there's an issue, you have to address it.
Absolutely.
And by trying to pretend it doesn't exist isn't going to help anything because your players are going to see that probably as like, all right, well, if he doesn't even want to deal with it, how are we supposed to like have reliability with this guy?
Yeah, the real question is why haven't they just figured out that the answer to all their problems is paying Le'Veon Bell?
It really seems like that's the thing. And I don't know why this, like, apparently he turned down like an $80 million contract.
Yeah, he wants to be the highest paid player in the NFL.
I don't think he's going to get it. It's just because the running... No, I'm not saying that he doesn't contribute so much to that team. It's the market for running backs. And that's the biggest thing that's killing him. Like, Gurley just got paid, like a $48 million contract for 4 years?
Rex.
He got some good money. But think about this. Gurley got paid a lot of money. He was probably the best offensive player in the league last year. Is continuing to be one of the best offensive players in the league this year. He's got paid a ton of money.
But you can argue Le'Veon is the same exact. He's in the same exact. Echelon.
But Le'Veon wants double the amount of money he's getting. And
well, did you hear Le'Veon's argument? Great argument.
What is this?
He's a running back and a receiver.
Yeah.
So he wants to be paid as both.
He does a lot.
He does a lot. He's a good catcher.
I'm not saying he doesn't.
Yeah.
All I'm saying is that it's just the market for running backs.
I agree. Because right now we're in a quarterback driven league.
Receivers are getting paid stupid amounts of money.
Exactly. But I think
Aaron Rodgers got the biggest contract in NFL history.
I think especially right now, and even if they haven't learned this from what the Raiders have been doing. Because I don't know if people have realized all these holdouts, the only ones that have ended successfully were the people who go and pay their players. Mm-hmm. I don't know if they've noticed that. None of these holdouts end up well for the team who trades away or franchise tags a player.
No, because they're like, well, you're just going to stick me with however much money is either going to be the lower end of what I want or not even close.
And the problem is that here's the three issues on that team offensively. Big Ben isn't able to produce.
It's also a cop-out, just franchise tagging guys. It is, but that's the reason why.
And he's already been franchise tagged.
Twice.
So let's talk about that. Yeah.
This is the last year that he can... I don't think he's going to play for the Steelers.
I think the three problems are Big Ben...
is leaving.
Big Ben... four problems. Big Ben, offensive line, frustration, Le'Veon Bell, Antonio Brown. Antonio Brown is upset because they're losing. Ben Roethlisberger, I guarantee you, is upset for all of the above reasons, because they all have to do with him. Yeah. Le'Veon's not getting paid, and Antonio is upset because they're losing, right?
Yeah.
You pay Le'Veon, you solve the offensive line problems, you solve the Big Ben problem.
You solve the losing problem.
You solve the losing problem, which then solves your Antonio Brown problem.
And the line plays better.
And not only that, Antonio Brown's mad he's not being targeted, which everyone has discussed is a stupid argument because he's targeted more than anybody.
Yeah.
But if you put Le'Veon out there, that's another person defenses have to watch.
Yeah.
So I don't understand why they don't realize it. Maybe we take an L paying him a ton, but every issue you're having right now
could be solved by paying him.
And then
well, it's either this is the thing too. Is either you pay this man or you trade him. Because if either you no longer have the issue of are we going to pay him,
which we've seen recently in
the Raiders. I mean, but it's even still. It's like you either they don't seem like they want to pay him the money. I think a team that would pay him is in Indianapolis. I think Indianapolis would actually pay him, and I think Indianapolis would love to have Le'Veon Bell. I think Le'Veon would actually not mind being an Indianapolis Colt.
That'd
be a great pickup for them. It'd be a nasty pickup for them.
Le'Veon.
And T.Y. Hilton. The offensive line's getting a little better. Quentin Nelson's a monster. I love Quentin Nelson. But anyway, I could see Indianapolis getting him. I really could.
Yeah, but are the Steelers going to send him to Indianapolis?
I don't see why they... I don't see any holdup why they wouldn't. I mean, they're in the same conference, but they would only play them once a season, maybe once every 3 years.
I just don't see why they're not paying him. I think in this scenario, I think if the whole team was doing well besides Le'Veon, I would agree with everything you're saying. Mm-hmm. I would agree. Well, you're not really saying anything. You have two positions: either pay him or trade him.
Yeah.
I agree. I disagree with the trade him only because again,
it hurts
you were not going to solve any of the
you're not gonna, I think you just reduce the amount of issue. I think it's either
you pay him.
Well, yeah, you either pay him or you trade him. And the reason why I say it is because look, if he's no longer even present, there's no longer an argument about whether or not we can do it, and we just have to work with what we have. James Conner looks like a monster. He looks like the guy who could actually carry that load for that team. I like James Conner.
But is trading him even really the answer?
I think trading him gets you something better than paying somebody an absorbent amount of money you really don't want to pay him.
Yeah, but
that's the whole argument why the Raiders probably did it.
But you're still going to have Antonio upset because they're not going to get any extra weapons. So all the problems that are continuing will still continue. You'll still have Ben's problems because Ben had just lost one of his favorite players in targets.
It's no longer just a team thing, though. I think it's also a management. How are you going to handle player salaries later? Because remember when Joe Flacco signed that $100 million contract years ago after they won the Super Bowl?
Man, the Ravens really botched that one.
Yeah, and they let go of a ton of people. Mm-hmm. I'm not saying that Joe Flacco at the time probably wasn't worth that kind of money. And I'm not saying that he's no longer... I think he's underplayed his contract.
He's no
longer
worth that kind of money. Is he even played still?
Yeah.
You know you're sad when you're the starting quarterback of the Ravens and all I hear about is Lamar Jackson.
Yeah. RG3's their QB3.
I know. He was their QB2.
Yeah. Lamar Jackson's
Can you believe that?
If Lamar Jackson works into those mechanics...
Who came up with that?
RG3.
Who was like, let's put RG3 at 2 and Lamar at 3?
It was preseason.
RG3 should be 5th. RG3 should be a wide receiver. Why is no one talking about that?
I don't think he's as fast anymore.
You don't think so?
I'm sure there's still some speed.
He's still gonna have some.
But he doesn't have wide receiver speed. He probably has like tight end speed now. Maybe faster.
I'd like to see, but you know that they. I mean, yeah, I guess the Ravens would know that. Seeing.
Imagine making. Well, just think about this real quick. Quick sidebar. We're not going to spend more than a minute on it. Imagine putting like all three of them out there at one point, like just to see what would happen. You put like RG and Lamar at wide receiver, then you do like a shift, and it's like which quarterback's gonna get it? Because Joe Flacco ain't running with that.
They should let them all run a 40 together. Just line them up, let them run a 40, so that they can run to the end, get a lemonade, bring it back to Joe Flacco, and then run back with him.
That's funny.
They could easily run 80 yards in the time he could run 40.
I think that, but back to the point though, I think the Steelers' issues, I think they could be solved very easily. It's either you trade him, my opinion, it's an outlet. That's all I'm saying. It's either you're going to trade the guy or you're going to pay him a stupid amount of money.
Yeah,
but I think it just later hurts your contract or your team. Is like if you're going to pay Le'Veon Bell, what, $20 million a season?
Oh yeah, definitely. But that's why, I think that should have been the decision they made earlier.
They shouldn't have had it run out.
They let it fester. They've now upset everybody because if they had traded Le'Veon before
if their defense,
all this,
I think if their defense was any better too, this wouldn't be as big of an issue.
That's true. If they were winning, yeah.
Yeah.
But I think that's
winning solves a lot of problems.
I think that's the thing is that had they have traded him early, they could have said to Ben and Antonio, "Hey, we traded him. We got some good picks. Yeah. He wanted too much money, and if you want to continue playing, we need to be able to pay you, Antonio, when you want to stay
like 2 years.
And Ben, don't you want to get a good offensive line draft pick? Yeah. Don't you want to get someone better on defense?
If you even stay for another year.
Right, because if you stay, don't you want this?
Yeah.
So we can't pay this guy. But had you come and told them that in the beginning of the season, that's one thing. But to let them all think that there's a small chance one of their best offensive players comes back, that's where I think they messed up. So I think they're past the trading line. I think all they can do now is say, you know what, we let this go on long enough. We apologize to all the people out here who have dealt with this. We're going to pay him, and then we'll figure out the semantics of what we're going to do with our money later. But right now, we need to get this back on track, and this is what we're going to do it. I think Rooney just takes a...
I think even if they do pay him, it's going to be Ben Roethlisberger either has to retire or they have to let him go because of just money. And then what you do is you have your young Mason Rudolph or Josh Dobbs running your offense. See how well they developed and do what the Rams and the Eagles are doing. Put a bunch of talent around these guys to go try to win some more games.
Let's just do a double switch.
Okay. Explain.
I was going to say something foolish. Don't worry about it.
All right.
I was going to say, let's trade Blake Bortles and Leonard Fournette for Antonio Brown and Le'Veon Bell. We will clear out all their problems, and then we'll just let our backup quarterback play.
All right. I got one more thing to talk about for a few minutes, then we're going to do our predictions for the week.
Do it.
All right. Josh Gordon of the Patriots.
Good move.
I'm excited for it, of course. If you're an avid listener, you know I have some Patriots fandom.
Good move. I wanted the Jaguars to sign Dez or Josh Gordon.
I'm just glad I'm done hearing about
I think
from,
you guys
from
were the
other
second choice.
Patriots fans. I'm glad that we're done with the whole discussion of we need a receiver. Let's sign Dez because nobody wants Dez Bryant. Dez Bryant really wants to be a Patriot.
That's not true.
The Browns and the Ravens wanted him, but he wants to go to a contender.
But he's declined offers. They've said he has turned down offers from teams. He wants to get paid more. So it's not that teams don't want Dez. It's that he thinks his ability is not properly shown in the last couple seasons.
I no longer think that Dez is a premier receiver. And my argument why is that in today's NFL, he's a super freak athlete, right? But he doesn't seem to run routes very well. I think Dak forced the ball to him a few times, but even still, Dez Bryant's so athletic he should be able to catch. And these aren't passes all the time that are going 50 yards away from him.
Well, and they said he can't separate.
He can't.
Which, if you can't separate, you better be Michael Irvin. You better go up and get it. Did you see that? Can we go off on a 30-second thing? Steve Smith, Michael Irvin.
Oh, I did see that.
Beef? That was funny.
That was pretty
Who
funny.
would you pick?
Who would I pick, Michael Irvin or Steve Smith? Mm-hmm. I'd rather have Steve Smith.
Me too.
I think he's just faster. When they were in their prime, faster and runs better routes. They both have great hands.
Yeah. And
they have both big personalities. You
Smith.
couldn't make the argument that one personality is going to be better than the other one.
How can you feel anything negative for Steve Smith? He's the funniest dude on the planet.
But as far as Josh Gordon of the Patriots goes, they sent him a 5th-round pick to Cleveland. He hasn't played a full, the last time he played 14 games was, his second year, right? 600 yards, led the league, 9 touchdowns, he had 80-something catches. No,
he's never played 14 games. He played
14 games
11
in 2013.
games.
No. The last few years, he's played 11 total.
He played 2 games. His first season, he played 14 games. Because he didn't play the full 16, but still led the league.
No. His very first season, his rookie year, played 8. Second season, he played 14 games.
No, his first season, he led the league he led the league his first season, but didn't play all the games. He had a 2-game suspension. Remember? His first season, rookie season, led the NFL in receiving yards, but still missed 2 games. I think he did 14 one season, to the next season, and then
I'm pulling up PFF right now.
Yeah, get his because it's interesting because it's a good.
In 2013, he played 14 games. In 2012, he played 13 games.
Right, so his rookie, that 14-game season, that's the one he led the league in receiving.
Yes.
Right.
And the longest receiving. He averaged 117 yards a game.
Lead the league in receiving, and you have 2 games you didn't play.
Yeah.
And mind you, every other receiver we love right now was still in the league.
Yeah.
Antonio and
Dude,
Julio
I also think it's a great improvement for him. It's a better culture. Cleveland's horrible culture. It has been for 20 years. And you're not going to reinforce someone with a drug problem to be better if you have nothing to reinforce it, or enforce them with.
They're going to do a good job, I think, at.
I mean, apparently he's already learning the playbook.
Supporting him.
Yeah, I mean he's got his locker right next to Tom Brady's right now. Yeah. Their system is not too unfamiliar to what he's run before. He's learned the playbook pretty efficiently so far, and he could very well play this Sunday against the Lions.
And yeah, as I say, and the other good thing about it is people talk about it all the time.
I'm not saying he's Randy Moss, but he's going to be pretty good.
People keep comparing the two. That's just dumbest comparison.
It's just a similar. I wouldn't say even a similar situation entirely. It's just that they were not well off in the organization prior to New England.
Another thing the Raiders botched. One
of the greatest deals of all time.
The good thing about Josh Gordon going to the Patriots is a lot of people talk about one of the reasons why Tom Brady is one of the best quarterbacks ever, if not the best, is because he is a great guy. Not only is he a great player, and he's
a great leader.
He's a great guy, and I think that Josh Gordon playing in Cleveland, you can't ever. How can you ever be expected to love your job if you're known for having terrible quarterbacks?
Yeah,
he never had
the last quarterback that he had prior to this season was like Brian Hoyer.
Right, he never had any type of optimism for his position. But if you go in there now and you're learning the playbook, and not only that, but your quarterback, who's the best quarterback ever, is coming up to you
and stays healthy at that.
Right, and he's coming up to you and is validating what you're doing, is saying good, and is hitting you on routes. You're actually catching the ball. That right there adds the love for football that you were missing.
Yeah,
and I think that
because Gordon loves football. That's the thing. Is like if he didn't love football, he would have been gone from the league.
Exactly, but how can you love? It's the same thing with Antonio Brown. Antonio Brown loves football, but
how can you love the game when you're not
smacked? When it's not football you're dealing with. Antonio Brown right now is not struggling with football.
He's struggling with off the field.
Exactly.
With like drama.
Yeah, but when Antonio Brown is not struggling with off the field drama, he's the filthiest person ever.
Yeah. So
good.
We had a lot to talk about this week. More than likely, we will still stretch this out to next Friday. Let's get into some predictions. Last night, if you checked out the Facebook page, you saw we both picked the Browns, so we got one win so far. New Orleans and Atlanta. Who you got?
Atlanta.
I'm taking New Orleans, 31-20. Green Bay at Washington.
Green Bay.
I got Green Bay, too. I think it's going to be... unless Aaron Rodgers' knee just falls off of him.
Which even if it does, there's a chance he comes back in the third. There's a chance he goes back in the third and leads it.
I got Green Bay, 26-17. Indy at Philadelphia. Carson Wentz is back this week. Philly
that's a tough one.
Yeah. It's going to be closer than people expect.
It could be Indy. That's a tough one. I don't know. I would say Eagles, but by Sunday I'll have probably a different answer.
I'm going to say Philly. It's going to be close. I think it's a one-score game by the end of it. I'm going to say Philly 27-21.
Andrew Luck looks good.
I think they're just going to play fast because Carson's back. Buffalo at Minnesota, easy. I got Minnesota 38-3.
Buffalo 32-0. Yeah, let's go with
Minnesota
by slaughter rule. Minnesota by Buffalo's whole team retires at half.
Josh Allen quits.
Yeah, I can't do this anymore. I've decided football's been too long.
I'm benching LaShawn McCoy this week in fantasy. Oakland at Minnesota, or Miami, excuse me. Oakland at Miami. I got Oakland actually 24-16.
Is it?
It's at Miami.
Is it the Sunday game?
It's Sunday.
Miami.
You take Miami. Denver at Baltimore.
Denver.
I got Denver 17-10. Cincinnati at Carolina.
Cincinnati.
You're taking Cincy?
Yeah.
I think because it's at Carolina, I'm going to take Carolina.
Cincy looks filthy.
Did you see? Carolina had a solid game last week. They just got outplayed at the end of the game.
Yeah.
New York Giants at Houston. I'm going to take Houston 27-17.
Ooh, I'm going to take...
That offensive line is so bad. J.J. Watt's kind of a field day getting to Eli Manning.
Oh,
I think the pass rush is what kills the
Giants. I go Houston also. I think Saquon might have a game.
I think Odell will have a decent game. Their secondary isn't as great as everybody thinks it is.
Yeah, I think Saquon is a game.
Tennessee at Jacksonville. I got Jacksonville 24-6.
Easy.
24-6.
Jacksonville.
You got Jacksonville. Let's see.
If Blake Bortles is still riding that 4-touchdown high.
Right. Let's see. San Francisco at Kansas City. I'm taking Kansas City 38-27.
Yeah,
I think Jimmy has a good game, but I don't think it's enough to beat Mahomes playing hot.
I think it's a good game.
The Chargers and Rams. Battle of LA. LA Rams.
Rams are gonna crush them.
I got the LA Rams.
I got 28-13 that game.
I got 30-24. I think the Chargers have a nice offense. Their defense is just what's been killing them. Dallas at Seattle. I'm gonna take.
That's a tough one.
I got Seattle by like 6.
I think
just because it's in Seattle, that home field advantage is still monstrous there.
Yeah, I have Seattle.
All right, let's see. Chicago, Arizona. Chicago 31-9.
Chicago.
31-9.
Max gonna have a game. They better not put Sam Bradford out there because he's gone for the season after that.
Yep. Let's see. The Sunday night football game. New England at Detroit. I got New England 21-24 over Detroit.
Oh no, I got you guys putting the hands on them. Because Tom Brady's going to be mad.
Mm-hmm.
And when Tom Brady plays mad...
They don't typically lose back-to-back games either.
Tom Brady plays mad. I'm going to go 35-10.
35-10. It's Matt Patricia versus Bill Belichick. In the Monday Night Football game, Pittsburgh at Tampa Bay. Fitz, you know what? I bet against him last week.
Tampa!
I got Tampa 27-13 over Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh misses the playoffs this year. They could. The way they're going right now.
I'm going to say that my Cowboys are the best team.
Whatever you say, Skip.
In the league.
Thank you all so much for tuning in this week. We'll be back here, same time, same place on RadioFreeRadford.com. Be sure to follow RFR on social media on Facebook and Instagram at Radio Free Radford. When you search for them on Twitter, Radio Free Raddy, like the Rines Report for live streams and updates on the show on Facebook. Special thanks once again to Nicholas Penninger for being back on the show. Everyone out there, have a lovely day, lovely weekend. We will catch you all next week. Adios.
Yo.